What up everybody, Username here. And today, we're back again on the Taiwan server because Jimmy Butler is confirmed to release on November 12, and I figured I should make a video about him. Jimmy Buckets is a solid defensive menace, able to guard a lot of players thanks to his speed and blap angle. His ultimate lets him enter an enhanced state for 10 seconds, during which his movement speed, steal success rate, strength, and vertical are slightly increased. His block and interception angles increases to 360 degrees, and his interception range and success rate are greatly increased. If a block fails against a dunk, the opponent's true accuracy is slightly reduced. The movement speed and morale recovery rate of opponents within 2 meters are greatly reduced. Upon activation, the cooldown of sprint is reset. He can also use his ultimate even if his morale does not meet the cost, which will drop his morale into the negatives. When his morale is below 0 and his ultimate is not active, all of his attributes are greatly reduced. When his morale is above 0 or if his ultimate is active, if he gets into a strength clash with an opponent and his strength is lower, his strength temporarily increases. This may sound a bit confusing, and it is really confusing, but based on testing around, it just basically means during situation where strength is calculated, like during blocks and post-ups, his strength will be increased. Although, I might be wrong as the translations are kinda wonky. On defense, while sprinting, he can dash in the joystick's direction by pressing this, and at the end of the dash, he can instantly jump to attempt a block. When blocking dunks or layups, his block range and contest rate are greatly increased. He has a Eurostep dunk. Yes, a Eurostep dunk that can be used from 3.5 to 5 meters away from the rim by pressing this while pointing the joystick towards the rim. During the dunk, he knocks back any opponents in his path, and after knocking them back, his dunk block resistance and dunk accuracy are greatly increased. He can also perform a fadeaway jumper from the same distance by moving the joystick away from the rim while pressing the same button. He can drive left or right, then follow up with a post-up dribble by pressing drive again, which will knock back defenders if they're hit. From there, he can chain it into a fadeaway within the 3-point line. Perform a step back by pressing drive and moving the joystick away from the rim, which can be chained into another fade. Or perform an inside spin by moving the joystick towards the rim. The inside spin can be followed up with another shot, which can also be cancelled into a turnaround fadeaway. I almost forgot to mention, but the post-up feed and step-back feed can be cancelled into a floater, which can also knock back opponents in front of him. Unfortunately, Jimmy's mid-range accuracy is pretty mid. He misses a lot of the time, and during crunch time, it's risky to have him shoot the ball, and I hope his shooting gets a little buff. For the talents, here are the order you'll need. First, get this. It increases his block angle to 240 degrees. Next, get this. After a dash, his block angle will increase to 360 degrees for 3 seconds within 3 meters from the rim. After that, get this. During his Eurostep dunk or fadeaway, he's able to interrupt it with a pass. Then, get this. While his ultimate is active, his strength checks with his floaters and Eurostep dunks always succeed, and his dunk speed is slightly increased. The contest range for his fadeaway shots is also slightly reduced. Get this one too. On defense, if he non-matchup scores, the duration of his ultimate is reset. Lastly, get this. When a block attempt against a dunk fails, his dunk block success rate is greatly increased, which will be cleared after a block attempt. Now for his enhancements. His first enhancement gives the teammate with the lowest strength, speed, and vertical plus 5 to that attribute, and his bonus is doubled while his ultimate is active. His third enhancement increases his mid-range shot accuracy by 3%. His fifth enhancement lets him steal 40 morale from opponents whenever he successfully knocks them back during his Eurostep dunk or floater. When he successfully blocks or contests a dunk, he gains 60 morale. these are doubled while his ultimate is active. For some tips and combos, here are some that you'll need. On defense, only use his ultimate when your morale is around 700 or higher, because if you use it too early, most of the time you'll be a liability in the next defensive possession, since your morale will probably still be below 0 and you'll be in a weakened state. There are a few exceptions though, like during a key defensive possession in crunch time, where your team is trailing. You can use your ultimate here to have a chance of triggering an interception, because his ultimate increases the chance of interceptions by a lot, which can turn the tide of the game. Another thing to take advantage of is his double sprint. Using his ultimate resets the cooldown of your sprint, which means you can sprint once, then pop his ultimate when the sprint is about to end, and immediately use his sprint again, and dash if you need to block or contest your opponent's shot. He can also use his dash to keep up with players who attack the rim aggressively, like SGA, Wade, or Westbrook, since his dash gives you a 360-degree block angle within 3 meters. If you're going for help defense, don't leave your matchup too open. Like most defensive players, you should always try to switch onto the opposing scorer. Their goal is to lock them down and prevent open looks. On offense, the most basic combo is drive again for the bump, then step back, and finish with a fadeaway. The rest of his combos are pretty easy to be countered, so we're not gonna talk about them since they don't work. His Eurostep dunk is really good when paired with a stretch big, since his dunk is quite difficult to stop one-on-one thanks to the knockback. And if they decide to help on the paint, kick it out to the open man, which most of the time will result in an open shot. Sometimes, opponents will leave you open, either because they're expecting a dunk or they just forgot about you. In those cases, you should go for a fadeaway. And during rebounds, whether it's an offensive or defensive possession, you should try to help your center box out, as with his strengths, he's able to box out most centers, and in case your center messes up the rebound, he can also get it. Keep in mind, his shooting isn't consistent. He can miss mid-range shots, and even his dunk can miss too. His main role is to defend and use his Eurostep dunk to score or dish out to open teammates. For the potential, I use Guerrilla, Mid Dominance, and Mobile Defender. This gives him plus 22 to mid-range to boost his shooting and plus 8 on movement to help in defense. You can also use Launch Ready, Textbook Shot, and Rise Up. This build gives him plus 16 mid-range, plus 25 vertical, and plus 19 strength, increasing his block range and overall strength, allowing him to counter Dirk without sacrificing much of his mid-range shooting. For the partner, I use the one that gives out mid-range. Before we get into some gameplay, drop a like and comment if you're enjoying the video, and sub if you're new. It helps out a lot and I really appreciate it. Anyways, that's enough talk. Let's see how Jimmy Buckets turns this game into a block party.